And we have to discuss these things because most people are asleep. They're asleep at the helm, they're just lemons and they're walking off a cliff. And I know you guys aren't one of them because you follow this channel, you're educating yourself. You know there's more to this journey than just being a battery, okay, and draining yourself and then being put in the bus. There's more to life than that. So if that sounds good, if you want to learn about that, hit the like button. That's all we ask. Daily exercise, stretch out your finger, press the button, and let's get cracking. So the Prem Championship is the next big entity to go cashless. Lads, it's for your own good. It's easier if we go cashless, okay? And lo and behold, there hasn't been much kickback. There's a little bit of kickback, but you know, most farmers are old people, all right? They're older generation, they're old school. We're not bringing in young farmers. We don't have young farmers coming in. That's why there's a food crisis coming, by design, of course, but it's coming. That's why I've been growing my own food, learned to grow my own food, raising my own chickens and things like that. But that's beside the point. So what happened was our politicians ran over to the WEF, okay? The baby head kissers, all right? Now, none of these people are elected that WEF thing, okay? And they came back with this agenda that cows' farts are killing the planet, so we have to wipe out half our cows. And when you think about that, it's like even Elon Musk said that's nonsense. Now, Elon Musk knows a thing or two about sustainability, okay, about the green movement. I would say he knows 1,000x more than any baby head kissing politician, okay? But the agenda is that we're going to kill half the cows, and that's going to happen. And if you don't think it's going to happen, look back 2 years and see all the craziness that happened. And rational people didn't, you know, we all just, the lemons walked along, okay? So why this is absolute bullshit, pardon my language, but it is because we're totally disrespecting the elderly. We're just saying, like, I know you just built the country. I know you looked after us while we were kids. I know you washed our nappies. Before you had throwaways, you washed the crap out of them under the tap and you dried them. I know you've done all that for us. But it's the modern age now. Get with the times. Learn to use an iPad. Come on, Mr. 80-year-old, Mr. 70-year-old, Mr. 90-year-old, you know, Mrs. 85-year-old. And fair enough, some older people are comfortable and they are able to use technology. But a lot of them aren't. Like my father is a man that lives in the physical world. He calls it the McGoogled. He says, tell them nothing, they know too much already. He's never used the internet. So he's totally excluded when a rule like that comes out. He can't go to that. And my dad's not one to kick up a fuss. So he'll just, I won't go. I'll leave it to the young people. But that's absolute crap, okay? And we can't let them get away with that. You have to use cash, all right? Because you're disrespecting your parents and you're disrespecting everyone who's older by not demanding places to take cash and use cash. And if you have a business, request that people pay you in cash, okay? We use a payment provider, Stripe. Last year, I paid Stripe in my payment fees about as much as someone gets paid for a year. That's how much we paid in fees. That's how much this is highway robbery. Now, they want to pivot us into the cashless society so that you have no control over your money, you have no control over your sovereignty, and you basically have no control over your life. You have to go and beg for everything that you need. That's why you need to learn about Bitcoin, and I'm going to pivot into that now in a second. Okay, so I just want to tell you a little story. There's farmers all over the world, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, who don't understand who don't even have bank accounts. I have friends down in Western Clare, like us dubs, you've no idea the ignorance that we think the rest of the world rolls like this. You go down to West Clare, guys, and it's a totally different way of life. It's like going back in time 40 years, and I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. But it's a totally different way of life, a different way of living. These people have never even heard of Revolut or Bitcoin, okay, or any of these things like tapping. Like, what are you on about tapping, Dinny? All right, but it's unfair that we steamroll them and we just go, tough crap, roll with the times. It's just not fair. It's total disrespect to the elderly, okay, who built our country, who built our lives, and who supported us. And although I'm 100% for Bitcoin and teaching people about Bitcoin at the same time, we have a duty of care, we have an obligation to not exclude parts of our society, okay? And it's us, the voice, like we are the men, like if you are of the fighting age, you are the voice. When you get older, you won't be, so you're going to rely on the younger people to stick up for you, just like I think we should for these people. So I'll give you an example. At the weekend, it was my dad's birthday. He was 75, okay? And he wanted to buy a chainsaw because he's still out in the garden and doing a few bits. So we went to a shop, I won't name it, but of course when we went in, you can't look at the products and it's just iPads. It's just like, you know, go there, oh, you can't talk at the counter, go to the iPad, find your product, order it, and then come to the counter. And again, had I not been there, my dad would just have had to leave that shop and feel like, I don't fit in here, I can't do that. And that is, it just made me sad, like, because I could see how much he was struggling to, as I'm trying to show him how to work the iPad and show him the different chainsaws, and it's just nasty, guys, and it's a systemic fault, and that's why this fiat money system is a cancer. It's a parasite, and Bitcoin is just going to fix it, and it's going to be the renaissance, and it's going to be beautiful, and we just happen to be living through dirty fiat times. And generations ahead of us are going to laugh and go, how did those people persist? How are they so dumb? Just as we look back at everything that happened during the World Wars and back in Nazi Germany and go, how did they get away with that? How are they so dumb? It's just humans. It's just groupthink, okay? So Bitcoin fixes this, and this is the beauty of it. Bitcoin is going to fix this, okay? I'll tell you a little story. Okay, and then we'll pivot into this. And guys, hit the like button, because I want this content to get out to as much people as possible. I want as many people to see this content and start trying to figure out to use cash. Paddy Houlihan, the MMA guy, is a big voice in this. Tag Paddy in it, but he's always out there trying to get you to wake up and stop fucking tapping. Okay, you're costing yourself a fortune. Do you not want to get rich? Keep your money. Use cash. Okay, but here's the typical situation on how Bitcoin fixes this. All right. This wasn't someone in my family, but I've seen this firsthand, where a gentleman passed away. His family never came and visited him. They never bothered him. For the last 20 years of his life, they never bothered him. But this man had done well in life, and he had a few quid, and he had a bit of jewellery, and he had a bit of cash, and he had a bit of property. The day he died, the family ransacked the house. They went through it, they pulled the place apart, they had the fucking walls ripped down, looking for the cash, looking for the jewellery, looking for everything, all fighting to steal his wealth, basically. They'd never come and seen the man for years, okay? And this is how Bitcoin fixes this, because that's physical wealth, physical property. It's physical, you can take it, anyone can come and take it, all right? But why Bitcoin is so beautiful, and why Bitcoin fixes this, and why Bitcoin's going to change us as humanity and how we work and cooperate together, is had that man have understood Bitcoin, he could have time locked his wealth in Bitcoin. He could have said, well, screw it. I'll take my wealth with me, because you can do that. You can die with €1 billion. You can take it with you. You don't have to leave it there. You can't leave €1 billion in gold, property, cash, jewelry, anything. You leave anything physical, someone can come and steal it. Okay. But you can actually take your Bitcoin with you. Or let's just say you're getting on. You can time lock your Bitcoin so it's released. Every 5 years, someone's released. So now if your family aren't coming to visit you, it's like, well, okay, they're not getting the Bitcoin that I was going to leave to them. I'm going to start, you've more control over your wealth, okay? And the time locking of Bitcoin transcends the law. This is how people don't understand the enormity of this, and they screw around with crypto, and they just won't do the work on Bitcoin, and they can't see the wood for the trees, and they run around trading, and they don't see the opportunity in front of them. And, like, we've created high net worth people, hundreds of them over the last 2 years. They don't know it yet, but they've actually made generational wealth, okay? Bitcoin can transcend the law, okay? Code transcends the law, because the law is just an arbitrary thing. This guy is a judge and we've decided that these are the laws, but physics, maths and code transcends that. Because if you time lock a Bitcoin, let's say you have your wealth, okay, and you time lock it into 5 years' time, and then you get a divorce, and it's like, you have to give all the wealth. Okay, well, I don't have the Bitcoin. Okay, well, someone has to be able to get it. Well, nobody can. Don't you understand how Bitcoin works? It's time locked. It is in the ether. It's between this wallet and this wallet. And after so many blocks, it's going to land in this wallet. It's approximately 4 years' time. No law can change that. There's no governance. There's no one that can control Bitcoin. This is where people think, oh, well, someone's going to control it. Someone's going to take charge of it. It's like, don't you understand maths and code, people? Have you not studied this thing? Come on, I know it does take 10,000 hours to have a deep understanding, but it's really profound. It's just like, this gives power to the people. It gives you sovereignty. It's money you own. It's money you can spend, and it's money with a fixed supply. Okay? Your digital cash that you're being phased into is money you can't own. You can only own it as long as you have permission to use it. So you never own it. You can never take custody of it. You can take custody of your Bitcoin. You can even take it to the grave. So it's money you can't own, money you can't spend permissionlessly. Ask the Russians, how did they do? Some of them lost football clubs and yachts. They thought they owned their dollars, okay? And you won't be able to buy steaks in 5 years' time because your carbon credits won't allow it. Don't you know cows' farts are making the air get hot? Come on, are you silly? It's just an agenda to collect more tax and take away your freedom. So it's money you can't own, it's money you can't spend permissionlessly, and it's money that doesn't have a fixed supply. And it's like everyone just wants this, and Bitcoin is risky. It's like fucking knuckleheads. Like, some of you there's no hope for. No wonder you are poor. Like, life's never going to change unless you think for yourself and do a little bit of work. You've such an opportunity in front of you. This is game changing, okay? And when I get older, I'll have much more rights and much more control over my sovereignty, over my wealth, and there'll be no one stealing it, and there'll be no one getting it who doesn't deserve it, okay? And Maths and Code is going to allow me to do that, and that's beautiful. And if I don't want the politicians to get their hands on it, well, they won't get their hands on it. It's simple as that. And they can mandate all they want, and they can put court orders on it all they want, but this is transcending the law, and that's why it's a big deal, okay? It's not that it's going to be something that you can use unethically, but it just gives you sovereignty and power that is transcended law. Like, figure this out, people. Figure it out, because keep tapping, baby, and look at China. As soon as you break the speed limit, your fucking phone beeps because your card's after getting debited. And then you can't get on the train, or you can't get on a plane. And then you're in your little 15-minute city. It's like, you're in prison. Do you know what I mean? Bitcoiners have choice. We can move anywhere. We've freedom. We've countries like El Salvador opening up and going, come on, come in here. So Bitcoin gives you choice in the future. It's the most precious collateral that any human can get their hands on. And you have an opportunity now to front run institutions. The opportunity is closing. I've been banging this drum since 2020, but now the opportunity is closing, because when that ETF launches, forget it, okay? All those big institutions that want to get their hands on it, and there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around. It doesn't have the liquidity. The world is figuring it out. Smart people are figuring it out. My office, my consulting is busy, but you know, and it sort of frustrates me. It's not busy with the plumbers, the nurses, the guards, you know, the working man and woman. It's busy with all the professionals. You know, I've got lawyers coming and doing consultations, and nothing against the lawyers, okay? But it's mainly high net worth people that figured this out, and they're going, holy crap, we need to own. And that's because they've seen what happened to all the high net worth people, the Russian high net worth people. They lost all their wealth. So it's a lot of high net worth people, and the working people are just going, oh, I might buy a bit of Cardano, might buy a bit of Hex, might buy a bit of XRP, it could be the next one. It's like, come on, people, do some work in this thing. You've got a generational opportunity to figure this out, okay? The whole world, all we look for is scarcity. That's our human need: food, shelter, scarcity. 3 things, that's all you need. And Bitcoin has created digital scarcity, absolute perfect scarcity. The stock market, what's it searching for? Scarcity. The bond market, what's it searching for? Scarcity. The gold market, scarcity. Silver market, scarcity. Commodities, scarcity. Okay, a pension, search for scarcity. Oh, we're trading, trying to find this. It's just scarcity, guys. Property market, scarcity. Okay? There's none of them things are finite. You can make more of them. Bitcoin is the only thing that's finite. It's the only thing that, as the demand goes up, the supply can't go up. When the demand goes up in the property market, we make more properties. And then we get a big collapse, like what happened in 2008. And that just happens. Then it reflates and the bubble bursts. When Bitcoin goes up, it becomes more valuable, more stable. Okay? It gets better the bigger it gets. It sucks in more energy. And that's why it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's why it can't be stopped. And that's why, like, it's just insanity to be not paying attention to this thing. You have a generational opportunity. Most people are ignorant to it. That's your alpha. That's your edge. Study Bitcoin is my always advice. Don't buy Bitcoin because you don't know what you're doing. You need to study the thing. You need to put hours and hours and hours into it. Or hire someone like me and I'll set it all up for you and beat it into you. But study Bitcoin is the best thing you can do. It's going to give you rights in the future. And stand up for the elderly. If you have a business, ask people to pay in cash. Okay? Try and keep cash going, because it's unfair that we just exclude them. We just go, tough shit. We're all on iPads now. I know you don't have one. You don't even have a Facebook account or a Google account. So, you know, just stay at home. It's not right, guys. All right? I know we've got a good community here. Leverage the community, build the community, and start pushing this content out there, and use your own voice to educate other people on the rights of having cash. It's your legal right to be able to use a legal tender, okay, and have the privacy to use cash, and not exclude parts of society, and get up to speed on bloody Bitcoin, because unfortunately we're going to lose cash. Like, I know it's inevitable, predictable, and guaranteed, but I'm going to put up a fight for as long as I can. But I know they're going to steamroll it, you know, and the agenda will be to get rid of the cash for whatever nonsense reason we come up with. So you got to be prepared. Guys, hope you have a super evening. It's good to see you all tonight. Dinny out. Make sure you hit the like button. Follow this page if you want to learn more. So.